Welcome back to the Vibe Vaults. And yes, yay, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see me now. I am videoing myself. I don't have the best layout right here at the moment. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting on my floor in my bedroom. So until I can figure out where is the best place for me to record, do the videos, best backdrop. I know this is a plain wall behind me, but hey, we'll work it out, right? Okay. So anyway, today I want to talk about napping. So I love naps. And we'll talk about the art of napping, the do's and don'ts of napping, the benefits of napping, things like that. So let's get on with it. So like I said, I love to take naps. I don't get to take one every day, during the week anyway. Usually, well, I shouldn't really say that because sometimes I will take a little cat nap during my lunch break. So a lot of the times I'll just like go to my car, listen to my tunes, and rest. I'll just lay back and close my eyes. I usually put on my sunglasses to kind of dim the light that's around me. And I'll just I usually don't nap, but there have been a couple of times where I have fallen asleep. And have you ever fallen asleep in a public place? Like just taking a nap in a public place? Like I can remember, I don't really like going to the beach these days. I haven't been like going to the beach in a long time, but I used to love going to the beach. And I used to love those moments where I would just lay on my towel or the blanket and just close my eyes and rest. That was perfect. Like I said, I'll take naps in my car. And other than that, I haven't really taken a nap in public. But I'm picturing like a nice park on a nice fall or spring day, where it's not too hot, the sun's not beating down on you, but it's not like freezing cold either, right? And just being in the park and just closing your eyes. Although, when I was a teenager, I have fallen asleep in class before. So in school, I've had a couple of boring classes, and I can remember just putting my head down on my desk, with my hand, like this, and I just knocked my microphone. I do have a microphone here, so you probably just heard a loud thump when I did that. But yeah, so taking naps outside in public, sometimes you see like a homeless person on a park bench, or in the airline terminals, things like that, the train stations, especially the subways. And that's not really cool. I mean, but I guess it's public if you say that you fell asleep on a plane or a train, because I have done that, and a bus, you know what I mean? So yeah, those count, right? All right, so I do get to take naps on the weekends. Not all the time, but I try to get that nap in because a lot of the times I'll wake up fairly early during the weekend, even though I tell myself I don't have to go to work today. There's nothing going on today, which a lot of the times we do have things going on during the weekend because we're just super busy people. We have a super busy family. There's always something going on. But anyway, there's days that I don't have things to do, or even if I do have things to do, but they're later on during the day, I like to nap late morning, right? So like I'll get up at say 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'll take my nap on my recliner at like 11 o'clock. And I love laying back on my recliner snuggled up in my blanket and my pillow and just taking a nice nap. And I'll elaborate a little bit more on that after we go through some of these things. So let's talk about the benefits of taking a nap. So the benefits of taking short naps, okay? So it puts you in a better mood. It helps with stress, right? It improves brain health. It helps slow cognitive decline. So think like Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that. You would get improved alertness and improved memory. Okay? So the risk of taking long naps, and like I said, we're going to get into that a little bit more. So the risk of long naps, it can increase the risk of heart disease. It can increase the risk of obesity, and it makes you feel more sleepy. And then, of course, if you take a real long nap, it can affect your sleep for the night. Doesn't that make sense? I'm going to read to you some of the things that I've found out, some of the research that I've done. So the ideal nap should be from 15 to 30 minutes long. And this can be daily. Now, for kids, it's a little different. It varies by age. So babies up to 3 months old sleep on and off throughout the day, right? So they need a total of 14 to 17 hours of sleep in a day. And this tends to happen in several spurts throughout the day. Infants from 4 months to a year old need about 12 to 16 hours of sleep per day. And that includes taking 2 or 3 naps during the day. Toddlers 1 to 2 years old usually just get 1 nap during the day for about 2 hours. And it's recommended that they get 11 to 14 hours of sleep per day. Now, preschool, think of ages 3 to 5, right? They should be getting around 10 to 13 hours of sleep. And some kids in this age range still nap for about an hour or 2 per day, but some don't. Some don't require the nap, and they're perfectly fine throughout the day. Or they just don't want to, and then they're a grumpy goose come afternoon, right? Haven't you had that happen before? Honey, go take a nap. No, I don't want to take a nap. Just for an hour. No, I want to play with my toys. Okay. And then a few hours later, wah! And you're like, really? Right. Okay. So, you can set an alarm to make sure that you don't overnap. And this is what I have to do during my lunch breaks, right? Because I have to be back at a certain time. So I set an alarm on my phone. So that way, in case I do fall asleep, or I'm just really relaxed and closing my eyes and I'm not paying attention to the time, my alarm will go off, and that will alert me that, nope, it's time to get up, it's time to get moving, time to go back, right? So you could do this like when you're taking a nap at home too, so that you don't oversleep. Think about it. 15 to 30 minutes of sleep for a nap. That doesn't seem like a lot. That doesn't seem like enough for me, but there are benefits to that. You also want to try to avoid taking a nap before 3 p.m. Because like we said before, anytime after 3 p.m., it's considered late afternoon, evening. That's going to ruin your night's sleep, right? If you take like a 30-minute nap at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you might have trouble falling asleep at night or getting to sleep at a decent time. And you really should be getting consistent sleep. Like you should be actually going to bed at the same time every night. Kids and adults. We need that structure. We need that consistency. That's what helps our bodies get used to doing things at a certain time. So, sleep stages in naps happen just like your sleep at night, okay? You get your light sleep, which is the first stage, followed by slower body functions and relaxed muscles, which last 10 to 25 minutes. And you should not at this point have enough time to go into stage 3, which is deep sleep. In fact, if you wake up before this while taking a nap, you should feel refreshed and ready to take on the rest of the day. You certainly don't want to nap into REM sleep, because that's when you wake up feeling groggy and worse than it before you even took the nap. So has that ever happened to you? You would say, oh, I'm going to take a nap. You end up sleeping for a couple of hours. You've gone into that deep sleep. You've gone into that REM cycle. And then you wake up and you feel worse than what you did before. So it really wasn't worth taking that nap, right? Because then it ruins the rest of your day. especially when you have plans. You don't want to be all tight and groggy, and you're supposed to be out having fun. And like I said before, I like to take my naps, but I am prone to taking those naps for a couple of hours. So I've got to even tell myself to set an alarm for like 30 minutes just to get that, get that little refresher. You ever hear of a 10-minute power nap? Well, it's pretty much like that, except you get it a little bit longer, 15 to 30 minutes is all you need for a nap in a day. And you can do this every day. So do it during your lunch break if you're able to. Do it at home if you're able to. If you have small kids and pets that require your attention all the time, it might be a little bit difficult. But yeah, and always like for naps, like at nighttime, I like the room to be dark, right? I am staying awake if there's like any kind of light shining through the windows. Our new place that we live in now doesn't really have much of that problem. We have a little bit of light coming through our blinds, which we have to get some curtains for the windows, which we will be doing soon. But it hasn't really been bothering me as much as our last place that we lived in. The last apartment we lived in, there was a light. It was one of those, I don't want to say street light because it wasn't on the street, but basically that's what it was, right? Because it was in the parking lot. And that thing shone through the window like you wouldn't believe. It was like the sun was blaring through the window. It was like, what the fuck? It was like, what the fuck? Sure, turn off the lights. And yeah, that was very difficult. And we never did get curtains for that apartment, which I don't know why we didn't, but we just didn't. So that was on us, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so taking these power naps, I don't really, I could take a nap if my husband Chris is out there watching TV or, pedaling around in the kitchen or whatever he's doing, and I could just lay there and just close my eyes and just relax and I'm good. But there are a lot of times when I fall asleep and then I wake up and it's like 2-3 hours later. I'm like, what the hell? And then I do feel a lot worse. I'm like, I just want more sleep. It's like at that point, my body's just like, all right, let's get our 8 hours in. Or how many hours of sleep you require. I think in me, it's sleep during the night. I only require about 6 hours sleep and I'm good. Anything over 8 hours and I'm a wreck. And I have gotten away with having so I do have insomnia and I do have sleep apnea. So those are issues with my sleep. So sometimes there have been nights where I've gotten only like an hour or two of sleep. And sometimes I'm fine with that, but then other times I'm like, shit. I am like so tired. What am I going to be able to do? My eyes are closing. Like you'll be driving to work and like your eyes are falling asleep. They're getting low. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall asleep and get killed or whatever like that. But so far so good that hasn't happened. And I'm telling you, I've been getting much better sleep since we moved to this new apartment. I don't know why. I think it's just more cozy. We don't, like I said before, we don't have as much light shining through the window. And I've just been getting better sleep. So I've been good throughout the day and everything. So yeah, naps, everyone. Yeah. So I'm going to introduce a segment called, I think I'm just going to call it, I don't know, maybe you guys can help me come up with a word, but I want to read some motivational words and phrases, things like that. So the ones I'm going to read today, I got online. But if you want to send me an email with any kind of motivational words, phrases, things like that, words of wisdom, please, nothing religious, just nothing political, just, something nice, maybe some affirmations, that we could all abide by, things like that. Go ahead and send an email to thevibevaultpod@gmail.com and I'll read them on a future episode. All right, so I got a couple for today that I'm going to read. Nature has given us all the pieces required to achieve exceptional wellness and health, but has left it to us to put these pieces together. And that is by Diane McLaren. Here's another one. When you change your thoughts, remember to also change the world. And that's by Norman Vincent Peale. Pretty cool. So that's one of the many segments that I plan on having on the show. Motivational, whatever. I'll come up with something, or, maybe, like I said, maybe you can help me come up with a title for the segments. And recap it from last week. We also have strange things that happen that should not have happened, or dumb things that happen that should not have happened, right? So email me those and I will read them on a future episode. Please keep them clean and appropriate. I don't have to be, I could say swear words on here. We're fine. You know what I mean? But like nothing too like nasty. You know what I mean? But to recap about the naps. So try to get a daily nap in. Keep it 15 to 30 minutes long. Set an alarm so that you'll wake up at least at that 30-minute mark. And, don't oversleep. And with that, you should feel refreshed, re-energized, and ready to take on the rest of the day. All right, everyone. Until next week, peace out.